So you often talk about how things change. Yeah, I got a whiff of it. Yeah,
One day you'll understand.
one day soon. So you often talk about how things have changed over the years, and how there used to be gatekeeping back in the days in wrestling, discipline being handled in the rings rather than
Yes.
in a locker room. Have you ever been in a
Well, it
position
was locker room discipline being handled in the
in the
ring.
ring, in the ring? So have you ever been in a position to where you had some disciplining happen in the ring?
Yeah. Only once. Only once. And it backfired. So I've often said I've been in the business long enough now that I'm on the cusp of the old way into the new way. And I've seen the gatekeepers, the guys who protected the locker room from people who they felt didn't belong. You weren't tough enough, you weren't cool enough, you were a little weird. Whatever the case may be, you had people that just decided we're gonna run this guy off.
Mm.
And back in the day, it was just kind of how they kept wrestling, pro wrestling. You can come around and you want to be a pro wrestler, and they beat the hell out of you. And if you came back, okay, beat the hell out of them again. And if you came back, all right, today just stretch him a little bit, and we'll start bringing this guy along little by little. Back in the day, people would get smartened up until after they had been around for a little while and be like, okay, this is how things really work.
To the actual talent?
Yeah, yeah. Back in the day, if you wanted to be a pro wrestler and you showed up, you'd get beat up. I mean, going back.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, as early as the '70s, they were still doing that.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't think Sabu and RVD knew that the Sheik was working. I think they both thought it was real when they started training. I think they told those stories. So that's how it was. They tried to run you off. You had to really, really want to be a pro wrestler. Um, so a lot of the time, if you had young guys who were disrespectful in the locker room or unruly or a little big for their britches, every territory back in the territory days had at least one or two guys that were disciplinarians. You'd have that old shooter, stretcher guy that would you ain't want to lose the belt, and you see you're booked against this guy. That means you're losing the belt tonight. Or if you know you've been acting up, and then you see your name's booked on the card against this guy, you're like, oh man, what did I do? Um, a more recent example of that was the APA. If you had been fucking up and you saw you were booked against
Okay.
against Big Ron and JBL, oh man, what did I do? Like, um, and that was the way the the boys discipline kept discipline in the locker room. We kept discipline amongst ourselves as much as possible, and it worked for a long time. And then WWE became corporate, and now you got shareholders to deal with. So these are incidents that can't take place anymore because the corporate world doesn't understand locker room discipline. And I will be the first to admit, sometimes I think it got out of hand with egos and whatnot. And I think some people who could have drawn really good money got run off. When I came into the business, things were a little different for me because this wasn't my first time away from home. Like I was introduced to the business by a former prison guard,
Right.
and I started training a few months after I came home from prison. So I was wired a little differently. So I understood the hierarchy and respect and veteranship. I'm cool with that. But what I didn't understand was you disrespecting me because you're slightly above me on the totem pole in this fake fighting shit. Like you got me fucked up. Like I'll respect your tenure or whatever, but respect I'm a man just like you.
Right
you
on.
know. So when we were first coming up in South Florida, there was a wrestler out of Jacksonville, and I will say his name, Larry Hamilton. That's his name, Jacksonville. And he was a fake preacher. I say fake preacher because he was a preacher, whatever, deacon, whatever. But We called him Lion Ass Larry because Larry used to lie. He used to lie to us, man. And we were at Duke the Dumpster's wrestling school. And Bill Brown, who ran FCW, which our school was supposed to be attached to his promotion, never used any of us. So we'd be there training all the time, but weren't getting booked to work anywhere. So finally, I think it was Prime Time. Shout out to Prime Time.
Daryl Davis.
I think he was the one that reached out to Larry to get us booked. And the first real wrestling show that I ever did was, I don't remember what it was called. I don't remember what his promotion was called. But we all drove to Jacksonville, and this is our first dose of Lion Ass Larry.